Okay, looking at gold here, XAUUSD. So this is technically, I do believe it's above the daily moving average. Yes, so it is technically bullish, but it's coming into this zone that with heavy resistance, and I know the dollar index is pushing up, so I do think that gold's actually going to push down. So I don't know if it's going to do much to end the month, the next 4 days, but currently it's pushing into this zone, and I'm looking to potentially sell it. So I got these zones marked out. Let's see if they're still valid. So I mean, this is your main zone as price is pushing into it. So it's breaking this 1 hour, so this one doesn't count. And then we'll delete this as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the 4 hour liquidity zones. So we'll keep this, this big one is this daily one, but we're going to find a nice 4 hour liquidity zone. So I think it's actually right here. So far we'll start with this one, and then we'll just see. It's cool because every one of these wicks actually push down a little bit further, so that's a good start to a liquidity zone when wicks are moving the direction that you want. And they weren't all equal, every single one is a little bit further, so it's obviously rejecting this area heavily, and now it's pushing back up. But again, it's got to push against this huge daily liquidity zone, so you can even actually maybe move this up to a little bit here. So this is our main upper liquidity area, so ideally gold won't break this, but we'll see. Maybe it will, and then I mean, if that does, that totally invalidates everything. But so far this is what we're working with. We're looking for price here, I'll mark this out. We're looking for price to break this area, and so if it breaks this area, I just want to see where it lines up. If it breaks this area, it's going to be really close to this moving average, and if it happens the next few days, then this moving average will probably catch up and price will break below it. But it's already below on the 4 hour, but it's not quite below on the 1 hour. So this is actually good. So I want price to break this area. I'm in no rush to sell this. It'll probably be next month, but let price break this area, and then we need this moving average to catch up as well, and then we need price to break below it. You can see price right here. It did have you know, lower lows, lower highs, so price pushed down, came back up, pushed down lower, and now pushed up. So hopefully it doesn't break these. Hopefully price here does not break these ones. If it does, then we're looking at bull structure still, and then we have no trade here. But yeah, I'm looking still to short this, which is a little bit against the grain, but I just have a feeling gold's going to push down further. I think this upper liquidity area is really seems to be holding it, and it did have a nice bearish move down here, and then now, so I think it's just pulling up a little bit. I'm just curious, if we throw a fib on this, you know, what kind of zone are we looking at? Oh yeah, so it's basically just testing the 38.2 zone just below it. So that I mean, if that's the case, if it's just touching the 38.2 and that's a retracement of this entire bear move here, then that tells me that gold is still very bearish if it can't even come back up to the 50%. I'm just trying to see other time frames, other perspectives possibly. So if we look at this here, you know, based on this, price never retraced as far as a 50%. So yeah, price might come up a little bit higher if it breaks this area here, but yeah, I mean, it really is struggling with this 38.2 level on every retracement, depending on on every time frame, what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I think gold is going to head lower. Obviously it's going to have to break this major zone here, about 1890, and then the monthly range is still 1845, but because gold moves about $120 a month right now, so technically, and if 1965 is the high, which it was, you know, on Tuesday, August 1st here, I mean, 1845 is still the monthly range. I don't think it's going to hit it, but I mean, it could. So that being the range, I mean, that is what it normally moves, so totally possible. But I'm going to let price break this 4 hour, well, this 4 hour zone. I got it labeled here. And then this is the 1 hour time frame though, but yeah, let price break this area, retest. I want it to break below this moving average as well. I'm not in any rush to sell this, but I do want to sell it most likely next month and start targeting some lower lows. I think gold is going bearish. I think you can just see based on these this daily time frame, you know, price did pull up, was way above this moving average for a long time, but then as of, you know, the beginning of May, just hasn't done much. It pulled lower, pulled back up, hit this area, pulled back down, which was actually lower than this. So I mean, we've since the beginning of May, all we've seen is bear structure really from gold here. So, and with the dollar moving up, gaining value, it's going to push these assets down. So, and then with economic times changing, you know, and getting a little more unpredictable, the thing is with gold, is people like to think of it as like a storage of wealth, and I mean, like, that is true in some aspects, but at the same time, gold is the best conductor we have. And I mean, gold has a lot of utility use, but with slower economic times, the need for gold goes down as well. And then I mean, if people start pawning off their jewelry and stuff like that, it's going to bring the price of gold down. And you can't eat gold, you can't put it in a gun, so it's not as gold is great in some ways and not great in other ways. So I do think that the desire for gold is going to go down a little bit, at least, in the foreseen future here. So yeah, gonna let it break this zone, retest, break that 1 hour moving average, and then probably next month look for a short position down to, you know, maybe mid 1800s or low 1800s. And that's my take on gold.